Warning: this audio contains information and practices that can change the way you live your life to the fullest. All that is required is desire, commitment, and the ability to take action. Take action. Take action. Take action. Congratulations! You did it! You took it upon yourself to listen to this audio program titled Building a Better You. And I must say that I'm honored that you have taken the time to unplug, reflect, and reset. What motivated me to do this project was my desire for learning and sharing information. When the world seems to be going out of control, what I find that works best for me is to take time out to unplug, reflect, and reset. It's simple to reprogram a computer, but how often do we reprogram ourselves? That answer alone would explain why we are where we are in our lives today. Now, my interest in understanding the benefits behind self-improvement and lifelong learning is what has led up to the creation of this audio. The principles and the practices have allowed me to better understand why we think, why we feel, and why we act the way we do. What we believe will ultimately determine how we behave, and how we behave will design what it is we receive. The Bible refers to this philosophy as reaping and sowing. You reap what you sow. Once more of us become aware of the fact that we are in control of deciding the quality of life we choose to live, the better off I believe we'll be as a people. It has been said that any one of us in our right minds can take control of our lives and accomplish whatever it is we set our minds to. Is that where the secret really lies? What we set our minds to? Dear Father, allow the words from my mouth to be pleasing to your ear. Allow me to be a vessel to deliver encouragement, inspiration, and to provide clarity for your people. Your word says that we were created in your image and likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Let us begin. Research has shown us that the roadblock to achieving anything we set our minds to is not in us not knowing what to do, but rather not doing what we know. Why then do we not do the things that we know? Just knowing what to do and not moving forward, taking action, is almost like not knowing at all, right? If this person sounds like you, don't be alarmed. I'm sure you and I and countless others all share similarities in this area. As small children, we were spontaneous risk takers, no fear at all. It wasn't until we began to be disciplined for dropping this or breaking that we grew to be less risk-taking and more fearful. Whatever we experienced while we were young, whether good or bad, research shows that it does explain why we do a lot of the things we do today. The beauty in building a better you is you can take control of your life and work on those areas that you think need fine-tuning based on the results you've been getting. Now, is it okay to blame our parents for following the blueprint that their parents gave them and how they raised us? Honestly, not necessarily. They only were doing what they knew. They followed a program. It's very important to be aware of who you modeled while you were growing up, because by doing this, you can reflect on why you do a lot of the things that you do. Studies show that it's more than likely a strong hesitation to change that explains why some of us don't do what we know we should do. We resist change because it's scary and it's unfamiliar. As human beings, the risk of being removed from what it is we're used to, or our comfort zones, is a scary thing. Even if what it is we are used to is keeping us from growing. It's fear, which is the anticipation of pain and discomfort that comes along with not knowing what's going to happen, that plays out in our minds way before any steps are taken towards something different. I think it's safe to say that we all have shared in this sense of fear in more than one area of our lives, whether it be starting a new business or quitting a dead-end job or leaving an abusive relationship. The list goes on and on. How do we fix this? Well, I think we should start with asking ourselves a good question. And that question would be, where is my hesitation coming from? What's going on in my life right now that's stopping me from doing the things I know I should be doing? Write this down. You'll refer to it later. Question number 2. What am I afraid of? Or am I even afraid? Is it that I've been doing the same thing for so long that the thought of doing something different is too uncomfortable? Question number 3. Who do I have in my closest network of friends that won't judge me, but will be honest with me about areas in my life that they personally feel I could change for the better? Determine which friends you have that are adding to your life, as well as the ones that are taking away from it. Be honest. Ask yourself, am I spending 80% of the time with healthy friends that are adding to my life, that encourage me, that believe in me, even when I don't believe in myself? Or do I spend 20% of the time with my healthy friends, but 80% of the time with the nagging, complaining, energy-sapping people in my life? This is important because it lets you see why you do some of the things that you do. This exercise is called Looking at My Life. Label the page Reasons Why I Haven't Moved Forward to Do What I Know I Should Be Doing. Once you have completed your list of reasons, ask yourself if what you have written down is really what you believe or something you've been telling yourself for years so you don't have to deal with the truth. This is the time for you to analyze what you have allowed to take up space in your life as an excuse or what you really believe to be true. For others, it's not necessarily fear at all that keeps them from achieving what they want. It's the ups and downs of everyday life that seems to suffocate their potential to stay focused. Their challenge is learning how to overcome obstacles and avoid distractions. At one point in our lives, we've all experienced it. You want to do something besides your current job that would make a difference in your life. You have an idea of exactly what it is, but don't know how to go about making it a reality. The idea is great, but without the desire to overcome the fear factors of what if it doesn't work, or who do I call if I need help, or what if I go broke, the idea dies before it's born. The question to ask here is, in building a better you, what is required from you to design the life you've always wanted? Achieving a happier, healthier, more fulfilling way to live. Living your life to the fullest. Doing what it is you know you could do. A better question is, who do I believe I can be to do what needs to be done to have what it is I want in my life? Do you want to earn more money? Who do you believe you have to be to do what needs to be done to have the money you want to earn? Do you want healthy relationships? Who do you believe you have to be, and what do you believe you have to do to attract healthy relationships in your life? It's that simple. Be, do, have. If you could be the person that could give off a good vibration while talking to a friend or co-worker or family member, more times than not, the same vibration will be returned to you. In other words, if you make it a point to be a little more than nice to others in your day-to-day interactions by complimenting and thanking them, letting them know how important they are to you, more than likely, those same people will return the favor back to you. The important thing here is to believe that you could be, do, and have anything you want in life as long as you believe and act on that belief. You are a living magnet. You are constantly attracting people, situations, and circumstances into your life based on what you are saying and the thoughts that you are thinking. If you are constantly thinking negative thoughts about people, places, things, and circumstances, guess what? Those things will come alive in your life. Keep in mind that you have the remote control over your life. Beliefs are powerful. They guide our behavior and shape our realities. Most of our beliefs are created from life experiences, some good, some bad. I think that it's good if we review our beliefs in more than one area of our lives from time to time to make sure our beliefs are healthy and assisting us instead of harming or hindering us. Another important component in building a better you is choosing a positive attitude over a negative attitude. Some people say attitude is everything. They say that a negative attitude can make a very attractive person seem unattractive, and a positive attitude can make an unattractive person seem attractive. Whatever the case, I think that it's safe to say that having a positive attitude, for the most part, is more to your advantage than having a negative attitude is. How important would you rank a positive attitude on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Now, after you've finished ranking, ask yourself, why did you rank the way you did? Think about it. Then ask yourself, how would you describe in detail how important it is to have a positive attitude? Get specific. Label this page, having a positive attitude and what it means to me. Please do not skip this exercise. This is very important that you explain in detail how important it is to have a positive attitude. By doing this, you'll be able to do a self-check to see where your attitude meters fall. Is it negative or is it positive? Now, why is this important? Let me tell you a secret. You have to be who you want others to be to you. Can you do that? Sure you can. Just think of how you like to be spoken to, how you like to be approached. Is it respectful? Are you sharing a good vibration? Are you sincere? This exercise is fun. It challenges you to visualize yourself treating others the way you would want them to treat you. Now, don't get me wrong. There will be times where life is pulling you in more than one direction, and your attitude may reflect that. That's the result of cause and effect. Something caused you to react in the manner that you did. What's important here is to first acknowledge where the pain is coming from, apologize to those who you may have come in contact with, and move on. Do you react or respond to situations in your life? A wise man told me that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. That quote has changed the way I get emotionally involved with the ups and downs in life. Reacting to a situation or circumstance requires little to no thinking, but responding, on the other hand, forces you not to react in haste. You actually stop and think. And once you've had time to think, chances are you'll make a better decision. Think about a recent incident in your life where if you would have stopped to think about what was actually taking place instead of reacting, giving into your emotions, how would that have changed the outcome? Would you still see the situation the same? Maybe, maybe not. I think all of us have had our share of reacting versus responding in more than one area of our lives. I know I have. Research shows that the best thing we could do in this case is to acknowledge what was done, accept responsibility, and move on. Some of us have the ability to stay spontaneous and eager to step out and explore new things, no matter what's going on in our lives, whether it be good or bad, while others find it too challenging to escape the norm. For me personally, this was an area that I struggled in for years. By modeling my parents and putting work as my number one priority in life, I devoted a lot of my younger years to my occupation. Taking vacations and giving myself a breather just wasn't an option. Instead, I chose countless hours of overtime, daily fast food, minimal exercise, and high salary potential to define my happiness and success. I'm sure I wasn't the first, and I'm positive that I won't be the last that was caught up in the rat race. Again, this is why it is vital that you are careful with determining who it is you are modeling in your life, especially if you have children. Their behaviors, thoughts, feelings, and actions are usually a reflection of who and what they have been exposed to. Do yourself a favor. Try and set out to find someone who you aspire to be like, that's getting the results that you aim to get, and model that person. Remember, success leaves clues for those who are willing to look for them. Once you learn the way a successful person thinks and behaves, it becomes less difficult to duplicate the process. Joy and pain. For centuries, research has provided extensive detail on these two powerful driving forces that steer pretty much everything we do in our lives. Think about it. Whatever we do, whenever we do it, is usually out of our aim to avoid pain or out of the quest to add more joy to our lives. Studies show that once we learn how to use joy and pain to our advantage, we will begin to see significant improvements in our lives. Our minds are like a computer. If you attach the sensation of joy to trying new things, being spontaneous, and committing to continuous learning, these particular areas more than likely will manifest in your life because of how you have coded this behavior in your mind. Now, on the other hand, if you attach the sensation of pain to trying new things and being spontaneous, do you for a second think that you would even attempt to do these things? Most likely not. And why? It's because you have attached a negative sensation to doing these things. First, mentally, and that's how they are filed and coded in your mind. So if you've ever wondered why you can't stick to an exercise regimen or diet for more than a few weeks, more than likely it's because you have attached more pain to eating healthier foods, exercising, and being more disciplined. which causes us not to move forward. We've all experienced this at one time or another. What we do have in our favor is choice. Whatever it is we are aiming for, we must attach enough joy to having it so that it codes that way in our minds. Sending sensations of joy to achieving your goal not only codes it that way in your mind, it also makes the overall pursuit of having it more enjoyable. Add emotion to achieving your goal, and like magic, it will manifest in your life. We have to first see ourselves already having what it is we want in our minds before it can actually manifest in our lives. Going into our mind's eye and seeing what it looks like, what it feels like, attaching joy to what it is we want helps us bring it to life. I love this technique in particular because it's like you actually live out the experience twice. Once in your mind, visualizing every detail from start to finish, all the way up to the actual experience itself. What we've covered up to this point is how our beliefs design the route we take into our future, and also how to remove the negative beliefs we were holding on to that have kept us from doing what it is we believe and know we could do. Second, we discussed the joy and pain principles and how connecting joy to our beliefs will uplift us and steer us in a new direction, moving us closer to achieving our goals. We also examined the importance of determining which friends that are healthy. We identified the friends that deserve 80% of our time, the ones that are adding to our lives by giving us positive feedback and encouragement to push forward. And we also identified the friends that we have that have been energy sappers, negative, always nagging and complaining, so that's all they attract in their life. We can only afford to give them 20% of our time until they decide to unplug, reflect, and reset. We went into detail and covered the importance of choosing to have a positive attitude over a negative attitude, and we questioned what a positive attitude means to you. We covered the differences in regards to reacting to a situation rather than responding to a situation. By responding to a situation, you give yourself the necessary time to think before you act. We went over the importance of taking action and actually believing that you can be the person you need to be to do what's necessary to have what it is you set out to accomplish. Then lastly, we went over what it is you see yourself as in your mind's eye. Our next order of business is figuring out what we want right now in our lives and if our reason why we want it is big enough to have it. So what is it that you want? Have you ever asked yourself this question? Are you like I was and others, just drifting through life without a clear sense of direction? Knowing exactly what it is you want and why is what's necessary for you to receive it. If your reason why you want it is big enough and you attach enough emotion to it, whether it's deciding to be more health conscious, ask yourself then, why is it more important for you to be more health conscious? Is how you're living today with what you're eating and drinking giving your body what it needs to function properly? Maybe you desire more energy. Connect joy to desiring more energy in your life. Begin to visualize how great it feels to have more energy. What would you be doing differently if you had more energy in your life? Maybe your last physical exam with your doctor showed that you were teeter-tottering towards diabetes with your current lifestyle due to poor diet and not enough exercise. Here's a perfect example where you could use the joy and pain principles to help to build a strong enough reason why it's important for you to make a decision with being more health conscious, adding exercise and proper diet to your life. The pain you could be experiencing by not deciding to make changes for the better could lead to poor health conditions. Again, using the joy and pain principles in more than one area of your life can be very beneficial. But like the other practices and principles, they only work when you use them. It's been a pleasure. And remember, to build a better you, sometimes you have to unplug, reflect, and reset. Building a better you is the result of a careful analysis of the various practices and principles from the world's most prominent thought leaders. Individuals like Dennis Kimbrough, Brian Tracy, Anthony Robbins, and countless others have provided the foundation to higher learning in the area of self-improvement.